These are my memories of Darrel's memorial evening. These are his friends who have come to talk about him after his passing.
And the cock.
You know what it
It's
is?
hummus.
Hummus?
Stops suddenly at university. We're surrounded by police cars
Is the same kind?
with their guns drawn.
It's different.
I'm the passenger.
Nice.
He probably said, Stephen, what did you do?
He does have a bottle of like whiskey between the seat, but he's not drinking it or anything. He's just in the car, open, you know, like
Between the driver's legs?
yeah, between the
Like-
between the
like
seats,
whiskey.
between the
Okay,
seats.
oh, okay.
We
So
lived in
then
the
What's
van.
that?
And they're saying, get out of the car, get out of the car. And we're going.
Taping?
It's like, okay, we're just driving some no traffic, not speeding, not doing anything, and get out of the car. I remember the gun was very shiny, and the cop says to me, turn around and face the front.
Well, first, can I interject? Because Darrel had his
Yes.
seatbelt on, and they made him put his,
Oh,
or them
yeah.
yelling at him to put his, or this is how he told me, to put his hands outside the window. We had his hands out the window, and then they're like, get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car. And he's like, had his seatbelt on, and he has his hands out. So he thought, he was really
Drawing
scared.
down to put his...
Well, yeah, like to take out his seatbelt. I guess he yelled or whatever to them.
Yeah.
He had his seatbelt on, and they figured out. So he got out of the car. You got out of the car.
I
too.
get out of the car, and the guy says to me, face the front, face the front. And I'm going,
Turn around,
well,
turn around.
no. I said, well, this is my front. I am facing the front. Wherever I face, I'm facing frontwards. I guess he meant like the
Good answer.
direction of the car.
Do you remember the time Darrel went, we were living on Roxton Road, he probably was crashing with us or something. And Darrel didn't know a lot about, well, he had a love affair, but usually with things, right?
Yeah.
Junk and stuff, like they always saying. He went on a date once.
Oh my god, the date.
And everyone was really excited for Darrel. Like it was like he was going on a date.
Nancy?
It wasn't with Nancy, it was another woman that he
okay.
met. And he decided that he looked really good too. Like when Darrel really made himself, he'd comb his hair back and he'd have like, it was long, he'd have it on the ponytail. And he arrived at our place before the date. Like, we kind of pumped him up and said, like, this is going to be a good night, and a great time. He had it all planned to go to a movie. There was a movie, he was going somewhere with her, and...
Taking her out to eat, too.
He had, what truck did he have? He had that, as importantly as you remember what truck he was driving
Was
at
it-
the time. It was the brown
one.
Brown
with the
Ford
cabin.
Ranger. Brown Ford Ranger.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
With this shell.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the back shell. Not the last red one, but yeah, it was just like the red, the same size.
What year was it?
This would be 98, 97 maybe?
No, did we have Narrowly?
No, Narrowly wasn't with us.
So 98, 99.
99. So he arrived and so he left, he looked great, we gave him...
Shining like a baby.
Early, 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and he showed back up an hour later. And we were kind of like, no, it's not Darrel. He came in, he was a bit frustrated. And we said, like, well, what happened? He came in, we had a drink. And he said, like, she wanted me to drive her home. So we said, well, tell us the whole, like, story, what happened? He was pretty upset. And he said, well, I was driving her. We were going to the supper, wherever they're going. He would take a movie and he was driving by this parking lot, like a department store, and he saw this big sofa. And she pulled over, and like she said, "What are you doing?" Like, and he said, "I need to get that sofa. That's this beautiful sofa." And this, I don't know who it was, but she said, like, I thought we were on a date, and so he insisted that she go and get a cart.
Yeah, she had to help him load it into the truck. She couldn't lift it, and then he was frustrated.
It became a
and then she had to get the shopping cart because she wasn't strong enough to get it into the back cab of the truck.
Here was Nikki and I looking at him going, this is your date, but he couldn't understand at all why she was upset. And he was saying, and I was saying, Darrel, like, there's a horrible thing to do on a first date. And he said, but it was a beautiful coach. Like, why didn't she notice that? Why didn't she? So I said it probably wasn't going to work out.
She's just not into couches.
You guys parted and went on your own ways after that.
he told me that one time when he was in the hospital, there was a nurse there, and the nurse said, "I don't like ugly people. If I see ugly people, I don't tell them that they're ugly." and it took me a few times for me to realize what he was saying, and then he said it in an accent, and then I got it. And he was kind of fun, and it was really funny, and then there was one time in a picture when I was little. He was okay, I can't really explain it, but it's right here.
Aww, that's you?
So great.
So beautiful. So precious looking.
He loved you, honey.
I met him just a couple of years later again at the Institute of Self-Healing, where he did a lot of crying. I remember those days. I think he was about 23, and it was an emotional place. It was a place of healing, and he cried a lot, and we cried together, and that was the kind of the foundation of our relationship, was kind of his pain.
I think I first met Darrel at the Institute of Self-Healing, I think, around 1990. And then I met Darrel through that.
Yeah, I hadn't even known Darrel at that
Independent,
point.
yeah, so, and as everyone knows here, he was just a huge presence, right? You just could never forget Darrel. And when I cycled through Parkdale, I work, this is kind of the area that I work, so just being in Parkdale, I see people, it's like, I get really surprised, I look and it looks like Darrel, like, so that's been happening since August, and especially this intersection, King and Dufferin, when I come back, and my heart just contracts a bit when I pass through this area, and I just feel so sad, but I feel like his presence is kind of all around us. I really feel like he has made me better knowing him. Like, I just feel like I'm just more mindful and paying attention more to people when they're talking, and just really listening. And he was a good friend, so I want that to continue through and have that quality live on in me.
I remember this stick. He was quite proud of this. I was actually quite taken aback on how he worked this. He was quite proud of it. Beautiful. Just one story may have related this to some of you. I'm sorry I may have met some of you along the way and not remembered, but one day I was coming home and he was on the porch. I said, "Paul, I want to show you this." And on a piece of paper he had written down about 5 or 6 spellings of Darrel. Darrel, 1 R, with 1 L, with 2 L's, with 2 R's. And at the end of it, it was, "No wonder I'm having an identity crisis."
Darrel just kind of wandered in one day and said, "It's a great place, you need any work done?" I said, "Sure, what can you do?" I can do, and he told me, of course, in great lengths what he could do, including trying to work on creating water-powered engines and things like that. I know there's more to that story that others can tell than I can. And he became a kind of a presence at my shop. And he, of course, you said it, he was larger than life. And that iconic hat, of course. And you could spot Darrel, I mean, a block away. And he'd come in and he was like a kind of a social convener in the place, He'd go up to people he'd never met before and talk to them and so forth. And always ideas, right? I mean, his head was swimming with ideas and notions and theories and so forth. I loved him very much. I didn't know him that well. I only knew him for a couple of years. But there was something winning and true about him. And I always felt, whatever Darrel wants to do in here, just let him go at it, Give him the tools that he needs, or get him some parts, and it'll be done, and it'll be done well.
I'm a motherly sort, so he did think of me as a mother, but he wasn't a son that I wanted to have. I'm pretty good at mothering, and I didn't think I could be very good with him in that, because he, as everyone has said, had his own mind and his own way.
So,
He always says something.
sure. I'll just read this, and I'll probably be repeating something, but it says, I really miss Darrel. My dad told me he was gone. It took a few days for me to actually realize he wasn't coming back. I cried at night, sometimes secretly, and it wasn't from my eyes, it was from my heart, and I've known him for all my life. To be honest, he was once my babysitter when I was tiny. There was even a picture of me and Darrel in my baby album. There are many times I remember with him as well. I remember this friend I was really upset because they broke up Friends movie, so I had to give up $50 to buy them a new one. It was in the car after I bought it. I got me one of those toys in the vending machine to cheer me up. I also remember the funny story he told me when he was at the hospital. He was a fun guy to be with too. He actually lived with us once. He was the type of adult that if my dad told me he was coming over, I wouldn't be like, oh God, I really miss Darrel a lot now. I always remember him. I think he's in a better place right now because he's no longer in pain. I miss him a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Darrel's been my friend for 2 years since he moved in. I was talking to him sometimes, and I also remember him from a long time ago, when I was a lot younger.
He lived here several times, I think you've heard that, and he was always very interested in every member of the family, and always was giving. Like, I think Darrel was a very, very loving person. That's what stands out for me. He was one of the few people on my speed dial. Once I had a very bad headache, and he healed it by giving me a massage. I was always really amazed at that, how he was able to do that.
My name's Nikki, and I met Darrel through Douglas. He, first time I met him must have been in, I guess, late '97 or early '98. He had just come back from BC after his mother had passed away, and he comes into Douglas's studio, and like Maria said, he was larger than life. He had a voice that at times was a bit loud to sing, and his laugh. And if you ever had a headache, it was challenging. But if you were in the mood to exchange stories and really have a gut laugh, he was definitely your man. He was, I guess he just had this amazing energy. He was a little boy sometimes inside of a man, and was, you know, one of those people that could make me laugh so hard I think I might pee.
Sent me this. Darrel's Requiem, 2011. I was reading Karen Fosson's book, Broken. She described a dream of many people lined up outside her door, waiting patiently for her. They're all characters that wait